Welcome to the CAEP Academy. This month's session is on TESS Summative Evaluation. As an educator preparation provider, we work with data every day, and as faculty we want to be aware of this data in order for us to make improvements to continuously grow. In order to prepare for our upcoming CAEP site visit or any kind of accreditation, we're going to focus each month on integral data that helps us to make decisions. This month, we're looking at our TESS Summative Evaluation. TESS stands for Teacher Excellence Support System, and that's the observation system that we use here in our state of Arkansas. And it's made up of 4 domains. In total, TESS is made up of 22 different components. Domain 1, 2, 3, and 4 are listed here. We also use 4 levels of performance. Ineffective, progressing, effective, and highly effective, scored 1, 2, 3, and 4. The categories were changed in fall 2018 to reflect changes in ESSA. When do our candidates learn about the observation system? That's a great question. This varies with each program, but most of our programs begin with their very first class in education. For many, this might be the CIED 1013 Introduction to Education. In that course, we begin by exposing candidates to the terms of the observation tool, as well as the areas that are observed. Many other programs later use this rubric in some practical assessments or other assignments. Bottom line is that we want our candidates to learn about this rubric before it's used during their internship. The observation tool is formally used during their candidate's internship. Whether candidates are in a semester-long internship or year-long, they should be observed at least 2 times during using the TESS Summative Evaluation, somewhere near the beginning of their internship and somewhere near the end. Again, this is determined by program. If you're not sure what your program does, take time to find out. What is our criteria for success? Well, in fall 2018, our UTEB, University Teacher Education Board, voted and decided that 2, or progressing, was the EPP criteria for success. What does that mean? Well, when we look at how our overall EPP is doing on tests, either overall or by program, if candidates are scoring lower than a 2, we would identify this as an area of need. So how are we doing? As you can see here, this is 4 cycles of data. Our latest cycle of data was fall 2018. A couple things that emerge from this is typically our fall assessment tends to be a little bit lower than our spring observation scores. And then the other thing that I've highlighted here is there is definitely a dip in 4C, communicating with families. We talked about this at opening day in August with our mentor teachers. This is an area that we want to continue to think about with our interns. How do we get them to be more familiar with this, get more practice at this, and then how do we demonstrate our communication? In our most recent EPP report, it was noted we need a more consistent way of training mentors to use TESS Summative Evaluation if we expect to include their scores. Our candidates, for the most part, are scoring above our benchmark criteria. Candidates in the fall tend to score lower than candidates in the spring, and we need to communicate with our candidates about artifacts that they can share with us when we discuss domains 1 and 4, which typically are looking at off-stage behaviors. What other ways do we use this information? Well, we can use it to align with the TESS standards. Every TESS criterion is linked to an TESS standard. TESS standards are the same thing as our Arkansas teaching standards. We can look at this, for instance, in TESS Category 2, content knowledge. We can see how our students are doing with content knowledge when we look at their scores in TESS. And we can compare that information with how our students are doing at the Praxis 2 content test scores as well. We can combine those together to kind of get an idea or a picture or snapshot of how our students are doing with content knowledge. As a program or licensure area, how are you doing? At this point, you're going to take some time as a faculty to look over your most recent test data, which is located on your program's Google folder. After discussing, please have someone fill out the assessment data feedback form and turn it into teach-ed@uark.edu. This next month in our CAEP Academy, our video will focus on information we receive from our candidates.